Today, our one more important topic, that is Gupta's dynasty. After Mauryas, the great dynasty, one more great dynasty, that is Gupta dynasty. So Gupta dynasty, it is a pure Hindu dynasty. All the kings are Gupta. All the rulers of Guptas, they followed Hinduism. They have taken Hinduism. They born and brought up in Hinduism only. So this is the most important dynasty in Indian history. And you see, this is called, Gupta's period is called Golden Age or Golden Era. This is called Golden Age or Golden Era. Why? Because, so Gupta dynasty having lot of literature and mathematics, science, astrology and astronomy. Every subject is developed in the period of Guptas. That's why, being as per this literature system and this culture, everything, it is called Golden Age or Golden Era, Swarna Yugamu. So we have to see first of all Gupta's sources. What are the sources of Gupta's history? So how many sources are there? Here we have two kinds of sources. One, books. We have two kinds of sources, that is one, books and inscriptions. Inscriptions. So books and inscriptions. So regarding books, we have lot of books here. Regarding books, we have first book was, that is Vishaka Datta. Its most important writing, that is Devi Chandraguptam. Vishaka Datta's writing, Devi Chandraguptam. So in this book, Vishaka Datta explained the information regarding Chandragupta II. So because of this book, we are knowing the history of Guptas. So it is written by Devi Chandragupta, written by Vishaka Datta. Vishaka Datta. And one more important person, he wrote so many books, that is Kalidasu. Kalidasu. So he wrote so many books, especially Abhignana Shakuntalamu, Kumara Sambhavamu, Megha Sandesham, Malavika Agnimittramu. So Urvashi, one more book we can say, that is Vikramorvashiyamu. Vikramorvashiyamu. All these books are the most important books of Kalidas. Kalidas is called Indian Shakespeare. So he wrote so many Sanskrit books and dramas and books. So all these books are explaining about the Gupta's dynasty. You see, Kalidasu, because of Kalidasu, here we are knowing so many books. Especially, he wrote Abhignana Shakuntalam. Abhignana Shakuntalamu, it is taken from Mahabharata. Abhignana Shakuntalam. This is a more important drama which is written by Kalidasu. Abhignana Shakuntalamu. And second, so Megha Sandesham. It is also one of the important book of Kalidasu, Megha Sandesham. And Vikramorvashiyam, that is Vikramorvashiyam. And Malavikagnimittramu, Kumara Sambhavamu, Raghuvamsham. So all these are Kalidas writings. And next we have Niti Shastra. Niti Shastra. So Niti Shastra, this is written by Kamandaka. Kamandaka, he wrote, this is Niti Shastra. Niti Shastra is called Kamandaka. It is written by Kamandaka. Niti Shastra is also called Gupta's Ardhashastra, because Ardhashastra is explaining about Maurya's information, Maurya's history. Here, Niti Shastra explaining about Gupta's history, Gupta's information. That is why, so Ardhashastra explaining the political administration system of Mauryas, as well as here Niti Shastra explaining about Gupta's political and administration system. That's why it is called Gupta's Ardhashastra. So, and we have one more book, that is Swapna Vasava Datta. Swapna Vasava Datta. So one of the important books, Swapna Vasava Datta. This is written by Basudu. It is written by Basudu. Swapna Vasava Datta. So it is also explaining about the Gupta's information. And one more book we have, that is Katha Sarit Sagaramu. That is Katha Sarit Sagaramu. Katha Sarit Sagaramu. It is written by Somadeva Suri. Katha Sarit Sagaramu written by Somadeva Suri. So these are most important books, that is Devi Chandraguptamu, Vishakadatta, Kalidas writings, those are Abhigna Shakuntalamu, Megha Sandeshamu, Kumara Sambhavam, etc. And Niti Shastra, it is written by Kamandaka. Niti Shastra is called the Gupta's Ardhashastra. And Swapna Vasavadatta, it is written by Basudu. And Katha Sarit Sagaramu, Katha Sarit Sagaramu, it is written by Somadeva Suri. Somadeva Suri. Katha Sarit Sagaramu, Somadeva Suri. So these are the important books regarding the history of Guptas. So after books we have one more source, that is inscriptions. Okay, here we have some inscriptions. The most important inscription regarding the Guptas, that is Allahabad inscription. Allahabad Prashasti, also called Allahabad inscription or Allahabad Prashasti. So this is a copper, Allahabad copper inscription. And oftenly it comes in so many examinations, so many competitive examinations. So Allahabad inscription explains about whom, they will ask the question. Or Allahabad inscription, who laid Allahabad inscription? So it is by Harisenudu. It is by Harisenudu. Allahabad inscription laid by Harisenudu. Harisenudu, he was minister and army chief of Samudragupta. So he was army chief and minister of Samudragupta. So this Allahabad inscription explaining about Samudragupta's history, his success, his administration, everything. That's why Allahabad copper inscription, it is the most important inscription regarding Guptas. Maharauli inscription. So Maharauli, so this is called Maharauli inscription. So it is by Chandragupta II. It is by Chandragupta II. So Maharauli inscription, it is by Chandragupta II. So this is Maharauli, it is at Delhi. Maharauli inscription, it is at Delhi. It is a iron pillar. It is iron pillar. So you know the greatness of this iron pillar. It is nearby Qutub Minar in Delhi, nearby Qutub Minar. So until today it is very strong. So there is no any destruction of this pillar, iron pillar. It is very good. Until today it is very strong. So this is iron pillar inscription by Chandragupta II. It is called Maharauli inscription. It is by Chandragupta II. And one more, Iran inscription. Iran inscription. This inscription by Bhanugupta. This inscription by Bhanugupta. So this is most very important inscription. Why? Because this is first inscription in India explaining about Sati. So this is the importance of this inscription. It is explaining about Sati. So this is the one and only first inscription described about Sati. That's why Iran inscription, it is by Bhanugupta. And one more inscription we have, this is Pune copper inscription. Pune copper inscription. It is by Prabhavati Gupta. It is by Prabhavati Gupta. So Prabhavati Gupta, daughter of Chandragupta II. She married Wakata kings. So she laid Pune inscription. So this is Pune copper inscription. These are the inscriptions of Guptas. Or these are the inscriptions explaining about the Gupta's information. So we have two kinds of sources of Gupta's history, that is books and inscriptions. Okay, so these are the inscriptions. We should remember Allahabad inscription. This is the most important question. So many, oftenly it came in so many examinations. That's why Allahabad copper inscription. Actually, I want to say one thing. Allahabad copper inscription, this is laid by Ashoka originally in Allahabad area. So this is laid by Ashoka. But one side explains about Ashoka information. And backside of that inscription, So that is backside written by Arisena on that copper inscription. Backside written by Arisena the history about Samudragupta. That's why, but we don't have any confusion. So actually, popularly Allahabad inscription, it is explaining about Samudragupta. Whenever we can say Allahabad inscription, that is explaining about Samudragupta. That's it. So we don't have any confusion. For your information, I told like this: Ashoka laid this inscription, but backside it is written by Harisena. So anyhow, so Allahabad copper inscription, most important inscription regarding Gupta's history. This is also called Allahabad Prashasti. It is also called Allahabad Prashasti. So these are the inscriptions. We should write some important points regarding Gupta dynasty. So here, founder, Gupta dynasty founder, that is Sri Gupta. Gupta dynasty founder, Sri Gupta. So actually you see, Sri Gupta, what was the original area? What was the origin of Sri Gupta? So their original area, Gauda area. Their original area, Gauda area. Gauda area, it is nearby Bengal. So he belongs to Gauda area, that is Sri Gupta. So he established Gupta dynasty, but not independent dynasty. Whenever he established Gupta dynasty, it was not independent dynasty. But anyhow, he is called founder. And important king. Here, important king was Samudragupta. Important king was Samudragupta. So Samudragupta was most important king. And original founder of Gupta dynasty. Original founder of Gupta dynasty, first Chandragupta. He is the original founder. What is original founder? From Chandragupta one period onwards, it's become independent country. He was ruling independent ruling. So that's why it is called original founder of Gupta dynasty, that is first Chandragupta. And here, capital of Gupta's dynasty, that is first, they have two capitals. First one Pataliputram, and second one Ujjain. So Ujjain was a capital in the period of second Chandragupta. That's why these are having two capitals. One, that is Pataliputram, second Ujjain. And their language, official language. What was official language? So official language of Guptas, that is Sanskrit. So official language of Guptas, that is Sanskrit. But common people have Prakruta. Here we are understanding two languages. We are having two languages. One is the official language, one more is the common people language. Official language was Sanskrit. Common people language was Prakruta. And their religion. What was the religion? So religion of Guptas. So absolutely accurately, the Guptas' religion was Hinduism or Vedic religionism. Already I told the religion of Guptas, that is Vedic religionism. Total all kings, but no king is converted into other religions. All kings, they are not talking, they have joined. So hereditarily they are getting the religion. So hereditarily they are getting religion, that is Hinduism. They worshipped so many Hindu goddesses. And in Gupta's period, Madhura's culture is developed. In Gupta's period, Madhura culture is developed. So you know, we have two kinds of cultures in India mainly. That is Gandhara style of sculpture and Madhura style of sculpture. Gandhara style of sculpture is introduced by Greeks and developed by Koriskas or Kushans or Kanishka. And Madhura, it is introduced in the period of Kushans, but developed by the Guptas. So Madhura inscription means the Hindu gods and goddess sculptures. That is Madhura style of sculpture. And in the Gupta's period, Nagara style also developed. Nagara sculpture also developed. That's why, so regarding religion, they have followed Hinduism, they worship Hindu gods and goddess. And the culture, Madura style of sculpture is developed and Nagara style of sculpture also developed in his period. And here you see the most important poets, writers, scientists, they are called Navaratnas. In Gupta's period, we have Navaratnas. That means 9 gems. 9 gems, Navaratnas. Navaratnas means because of Navaratnas, the Guptas are having the golden age. So, Navaratnas means 9 gems. That is, we can say Kalidasu, Dhanvantari, Varahamira, Amarasimha, Shankhu, Betalabhattu, Ghatakarparudu, Kshapanakudu. So, all these are called the Navaratnas, 9 gems. Among them, the doctors are there, medical doctors are there, astrologists are there, astrologists are there, and astronomists are there, mathematicians, writers. That's why this is called Navaratnas. Okay, so here the last king in this Gupta's dynasty, that is Vishnu Gupta. We should remember Vishnu Gupta. So Vishnu Gupta, he was last ruler of Gupta dynasty. Okay, this is the information: founder, important king, original founder, capitals and official language, religion, and Navaratnas, last king. This is a brief introduction or brief important main points of Gupta dynasty. Now the political history of Guptas. So what is political history? Before that, I want to say the original area. I told already the original area of Guptas, that is Gauda area. Gauda area means, we remember, nearby Bengal. So nearby Bengal, that is a Gauda kingdom. So after Gauda, we have Kamarupa kingdom. After Gauda, we have Kamarupa. What is Kamarupa? So Gauda means now Bengal is there now. So near about Bengal, that is, we can say Gauda. After Bengal, we have Kamarupa. You know what is Kamarupa? Kamarupa means that is Assam. The historical or old name of Assam, that is Kamarupa. So that's why, so Gauda kingdom, it is nearby Bengal. These Guptas originally belongs to this origin. Okay, and regarding community, what is the community of Guptas? Are they Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, or Brahmanas? So what is their community? Accurately, all historians are accepted. All historians are accepted. They belongs to Vaishya. They belongs to Vaishya community. So why? Because every Gupta ruler having the tail, last tail, that is a Gupta. Chandragupta, Samudragupta, Kumaragupta, Ramagupta, Skandagupta, they are having the last surname, that is Gupta. That's why they are called Guptas. So here you see the founder of this dynasty. Already I told the founder of this dynasty, Sri Gupta. We should remember who is founder of Gupta dynasty. That is Sri Gupta. Who is last ruler of Gupta dynasty? That is Vishnu Gupta. So he is Sri Gupta was the founder of this Gupta dynasty. He started the ruling of Gupta dynasty, but he was not independent. After Sri Gupta, we have Ghatotkacha Gupta. After Sri Gupta, we have Ghatotkacha. So Ghatotkacha Gupta, he was a brother of Sri Gupta. So Ghatotkacha Gupta, he ruled Gupta dynasty, but also in his period it is not independent. But after Ghatotkacha Gupta, his son, that is first Chandragupta. First Chandragupta. So he was a son of Ghatotkacha Gupta. So he ruled from 320 to 345 AD. This is the period of first Chandragupta. So this is the period of first Chandragupta, 320 to 345 AD. So he is a original founder. He is a original founder because from Chandragupta first onwards, the ruling of Guptas, the independent ruling of Guptas is started from 320 onwards. That's why he is called real founder. Already I told you. So real founder. Okay. So he is called real founder because he established Vyasa dynasty. He established Vyasa dynasty. So up to from Himalayas in the north, from Himalayas up to Vindhya Satpura mountains in the south. and west from Hindu Kush and right east up to Kamarupa. That's why this is totally the vast dynasty established by Guptas. So independent kingdom is started in the period of Chandragupta I. That's why he is called the original founder of Gupta dynasty. So also his period is called Gupta Shaka or Gupta era. It is called Gupta era or Gupta Shaka, started from the ruling of Chandragupta I. Gupta Shaka or Gupta era started from the period of Chandragupta I. So he has the title Maharajadiraja. He has the title Maharajadiraja. He has the title Maharajadiraja. So because of matrimonial alliance, because of matrimonial relations, he extended dynasty. Because of matrimonial relations. Why? Because you see, he married Lichavi princess Kumara Devi. He married Lichavi princess Kumara Devi. So when he married Lichavi princess Kumara Devi, that kind of relation, it helped him, that relation helped him to extend the dynasty. That's why, because of matrimonial relations, he extended the dynasty. And he was first Gupta's ruler introduced gold coins. So he was first Gupta's ruler introduced gold coins. You know his importance. On the coins, one side is wife picture, one more side his picture is printed on the coins. The first ruler in India issued the coins, both of the husbands with husband wife photos. That is Chandragupta I. Great is greatness. So Chandragupta, he was as per earlier class, so he was the founder and started the era. Okay, the second ruler of Gupta dynasty, that is Samudragupta. So Samudragupta is the great ruler in Gupta dynasty. He was great ruler. But you see, there are a controversy controversy information was there. What is that? First Chandragupta, according to some historians, first Chandragupta has two sons. That is Kachagupta and Samudragupta. So Samudragupta killed Kachagupta and became the successor of Chandragupta I. This is one of the information given by historians. Okay, so Chandragupta I has two sons. One is Kachagupta, second one is Samudragupta. Samudragupta killed Kachagupta and became the ruler of Gupta dynasty. This is one of the information. And one more information also available according to historians. What is that? So Samudragupta original name was Kachagupta. His original name was Kachagupta. So whenever he defeated the South Indian kingdoms, he defeated 12 South Indian kingdoms. So through sea route, he defeated the South Indian kingdoms. So his invasions totally through a sea route. That's why we got Samudragupta. So originally Samudragupta first name Kachagupta. Whenever he attacked on South Indian kingdoms through sea route, then only he got the name Samudragupta. But anyhow, we have these two controversial informations, but we should believe that after first Chandragupta, the successor Samudragupta. So he was a great ruler in Gupta dynasty as well as in India also, as well as in the rulers of India, Samudragupta the great ruler. So he has titles. Samudragupta has titles. That is Indian Napoleon. So Indian Napoleon, we have the title Indian Napoleon. So we have title Indian Napoleon. So this title is given by V.A. Smith, the great historian V.A. Smith. V.A. Smith has given Indian Napoleon to Samudragupta. Actually, you understand, Samudragupta has Indian Napoleon title. This is given by V.A. Smith. So why? Because Samudragupta attacked on South Indian kingdoms through using of sea routes. Napoleon also has done this kind of system. That's why Napoleon name has given to our Samudragupta by V.A. Smith. But anyhow, he has the title Indian Napoleon. And second, he has one more title, Kaviraju. So he has the title Kaviraju. Okay, so basically he was a lute player. Basically he was a lute. Lute means veena. Veena Vaidyakarudu. So he was a great musician of lute playing. Okay, that is Kaviraj. And one more he has title Vyagra Parakrama. He has one more title Vyagra Parakrama. So these are the titles of Samudragupta. Okay, and regarding Samudragupta, the information is given by Allahabad copper inscription. Allahabad copper inscription. Already I told you, Allahabad copper inscription laid by Arisenudu. So, Arisenudu. Who was Arisenudu? Arisenudu was the army chief and minister of Samudragupta. So, Arisenudu laid this inscription in Allahabad. So, it is called Allahabad copper inscription as well as Allahabad Prashasti. So, in this inscription, we have the success of Samudragupta. You know, Samudragupta attacked on South India. So, he attacked on South Indian kingdoms. He defeated 12 South Indian kingdoms. Samudragupta defeated 12 South Indian kingdoms. Among them, Shalankayanas, Pallavas also there. Shalankayana, they were in Andhra, Pallavas, they were in Tamil Nadu. So, Samudragupta also defeated Shalankayana, Pitapura rulers and Pallavas also. That's why he defeated 12 South Indian kingdoms. And he defeated 9 North Indian kingdoms. He defeated 9 North Indian kingdoms. So, 12 South Indian kingdoms, 9 North Indian kingdoms. And he defeated 5 tribal. He defeated 5 tribal kingdoms. So, this is the invasions of Samudragupta. So, that's why he established vast dynasty in Guptas. That's why Samudragupta is called Indian Napoleon, like this. He attacked on these areas, especially used through sea water, sea routes. That's why he is called Indian Napoleon. But you see, he defeated one of the tribe, Naga tribe ruler. He defeated one of the Naga tribe ruler, that is Ganapati Naga. He defeated Naga tribe ruler, that is Ganapati Naga. So, Ganapati Naga daughter was Kubera Naga. His daughter was Kubera Naga. So, whenever Ganapati Naga defeated by Samudragupta, he compromised with Samudragupta. Then he has given his daughter and married with Samudragupta's second son, Chandragupta II. So now Chandragupta II married Kubera Naga. Kubera Naga was the daughter of Ganapati Naga. That's why Chandragupta's first wife Kubera Naga. And you know, Samudragupta, he issued the coins, gold coins, silver coins and copper coins. So, gold coins are called Suvarnas and silver coins are called Fanas and copper coins are called Kauris. So, these are the coins issued by Samudragupta. He was first ruler in Guptas issuing different kinds. Okay, issuing different kinds, that is gold coins, silver coins and copper coins. And he printed different pictures on the coins. He printed different pictures on the coins. So, here is who is that? Before rulers, that means Chandragupta I. So, Chandragupta I issued the coins having the photos of Chandragupta and his wife. But here Samudragupta issued coins with the pictures of Shiva, with the pictures of lute, with the pictures of sailing, with the pictures of defeating tiger, with the pictures of hunter. Like this, he issued the coins, Shiva photo, Shiva picture, and lute playing pictures, and sailing pictures, and hunting pictures, and fighting with tiger pictures, So this kind of coins issued by Samudragupta. We have one more important ruler, that is second Chandragupta. You know how the Gupta dynasty is called Swarna Yuga or Golden Age? Whose period is called Golden Age? That is Chandragupta second period is called Golden Age. Okay, but you see, second Chandragupta, he ruled Gupta dynasty from 380 to 414 AD. He ruled Gupta dynasty from 380 to 414 AD. So actually, Samudragupta was ended at 375, but he came to throne in 380, but 5 years gap. What was the reason? So here we have 5 years gap. What was the reason? So this is the most important reason. Why? Because you see, after Samudragupta, his elder son, after Samudragupta, his elder son Ramagupta. Actually, Samudragupta has two sons, that is second Chandragupta and Ramagupta. Ramagupta was elder son. Okay, so whenever Ramagupta became the ruler, so he was defeated by Shaka Rudrasimha, sorry. So Rudrasimha, third Rudrasimha, he defeated by that Shaka king and defeated. So he wants, Shaka king wants his wife, that is Dhruva Devi. He wants Dhruva Devi. So Dhruva Devi was wife of Ramagupta. So Ramagupta wanted kingdom. Then Rudra Simha, he said that if you give me your wife, then I can retain your kingdom to you. That's why he accepted to give his wife to Shaka king. But his brother Chandragupta second. So he thought that, so this is a this is a issue of a prestigious issue. That's why Chandragupta, he attacked on Shaka king. He killed Shaka king as well as he killed Ramagupta. So he killed Shaka king and his brother Ramagupta and married Dhruva Devi. That means Dhruva Devi becomes sister-in-law to Chandragupta second. So Chandragupta second married Dhruva Devi and became the ruler in 380. Chandragupta second has the title, that is Simha Vikrama, and second title Shakari, and third title Vikramaditya. So these are the most important title to Chandragupta second. That is Simha Vikrama, Shakari, Vikramaditya. So when he was doing wars, when he was doing battles, he will become like a lion. He will become like a lion and he will defeat the enemies like a lion. That's why they have given the title Vikrama Simha, Simha Vikrama. And Shakari, that means he killed Shaka kings. That's why he has the title Shakari. And Vikramaditya. So what is Vikramaditya? While doing the wars, he will be shining like a sun. While doing the wars, he will be shining like a sun. That's why that is called Vikramaditya. These are the important titles. And you see, he shifted the capital from Pataliputran to Ujjaini. So he shifted the capital from Pataliputran to Ujjaini. So why? Because the vast dynasty, vast empire. So Pataliputra is in the east. That's why it is a problem for the administration. That's why he shifted the capital to central India. Ujjaini in Madhya Pradesh, so it is central India. That's why it will be easy for the administration. That's why he shifted capital from Pataliputran to Ujjaini. So, you know, whose period is called in Gupta's golden period or golden age? So, his period. Chandragupta second period is called golden age. Why? So, what is the reason? Means, in his period, we have so many poets, so many writers, scientists, mathematicians, astronomists, astrologists, and medical doctors, and also veterinary doctors, animal husbandry doctors. So there are so many people having a better knowledge, intellectuality. That people are there. But you see, first of all, we have to see Navaratnas. In his period, Navaratnas, 9 gems. So, Navaratnas. So, I will tell you these Navaratnas, we will take the list of these Navaratnas because they will ask the question, who is Navaratna? So, from the following, who is Navaratna? Who is a member of Navaratna? They will ask the questions. Like that, I will give you Navaratna's list. So, here first one we can say Kalidasu. Kalidas. First one, Kalidas. Kalidas belongs to Ujjaini. He was Sanskrit poet. He has a title, Indian Shakespeare. Because of Kalidasu, Chandragupta second period is compared with Elizabeth period. Elizabeth period. Why? Because Shakespeare was in the period of Elizabeth. Shakespeare was in the period of Elizabeth. That's why his period also called with the Elizabeth period, England Queen, Elizabeth period. Why? Because here Kalidas. Kalidas is called Indian Shakespeare. We should remember his title, Indian Shakespeare. So, he wrote dramas and so many books, especially so Abhignana Shakuntalam. Abhignana Shakuntalam, the most important book of Kalidasu, Abhignana Shakuntalam. And Megha Sandesham. Megha Sandesham. So, this is also one of the important book of Kalidasa, Megha Sandesham. And Kumara Sambhavam. Kumara Sambhavam. Kumara Sambhavam means how Kumaraswamy, Kartikeya was born. The information regarding the birth of Kumaraswamy, Kartikeya, Subramanya Swami, how he was born. So, that is called Kumara Sambhavam. And Raghuvamsham. Raghuvamsham. Raghuvamsham means regarding Ramayana, Raghuvamsham. And one more book that is Malavikagni Mitramu. Malavikagni Mitramu. So, Malavikagni Mitramu, it is the story between Malavika and Agnimitra, Shunga's king. Agnimitra. It is a story between the Malavika and Agnimitra. And one more book he has, that is Vikramorvachaniyam. Vikramorvachaniyam. So, Vikramorvachaniyam. These are the books of Kalidas. So, Megha Sandesham, Abhignana Shakuntalam, Megha Sandesham, Kumara Sambhavam, Raghuvamsham, Malavikagnimitram and Vikramorvachaniyam. All these books, the great famous books and great writings of Kalidasu. So, Kalidas is a number one, he has a number one position in Navaratna's 9 gems in the period of Chandragupta II. Second person in Navaratnas, that is Dhanvantari. So, Dhanvantari, you know, Dhanvantari introduced, he found Ayurvedic medicine. So, today what we are having Ayurvedic medicine, that is introduced by Dhanvantari. So, father of medicine in India, father of Ayurvedic medicine, that is Dhanvantari. So, Dhanvantari, he was a most important person, he introduced Ayurvedic medicine. And Varaha Mihira. Varaha Mihira. You know, Varaha Mihira, he was a astronomist. So, he was a great astronomer. You know, he wrote the books Bruhat Samhita, Bruhat Samhita, Bruhat Samhita, and Panchasiddhantika, Panchasiddhantika, and Jyotishya, Jyotishya Ratnavali, Jyotishya Ratnavali, etc. So, he wrote these books. You know, he was a great astronomist in those days. So, what he was saying, it will be happen. That's why. So, this is Varaha Mihira, you know, great contribution to Indian society as well as world society. So, Ayurveda, it was born in India. Jyotishya also, that means astronomy, it also born in India. Okay. And next we have Amarasimha. Amarasimha. Okay. So, this is a second, third and fourth. Amarasimha. So, Amarasimha, he wrote Amarakosham. He wrote Amarakosham. So Amarakosham is a first Sanskrit dictionary. First Sanskrit dictionary, that is Amarakosham. So this is 4 members. And next we have Shanku, one more person in Navaratnas, Shanku, and Ghatakarparudu, and Betalabattu, and Vararuchi, and last one Kshapanakudu. So these are called Navaratnas in the period of Chandragupta II. These are most important persons, 9 gems, also called Navaratnas. So Kalidasu, Dhanvantari, Varahamira, Amarasimha, Shanku, Ghatakarparudu, Betalabattu, Vararuchi, and Kshapanakudu. These are 9 Navaratnas, that means Navaratnas, 9 gems. You know, these are the great people in those second Chandragupta period. That's why Chandragupta period became golden age, golden era. And not only these persons, there are scientists, mathematicians, and medical doctors. I will give you a list. I'll explain about them now. Okay. One more important person, Aryabhatta. So because of Aryabhatta, we are so great of him, so proud of him, because Aryabhatta, he was a mathematician. So mathematician, he was great mathematician. As well as he is called astronomist, sorry. Also called astronomist, Khagola Shastravetta. You know, he found zero. Okay, and pi. Okay, and Dasham system. What we can say, decimal. So decimal system. So this is regarding mathematics, trigonometry, geometry, and what we can say, algebra. All these mathematical problems and solutions found by Aryabhatta. That's why he was a great person. You know, he found that the real cause of eclipse, true cause of eclipse. We have 2 eclipses, lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. That means Surya Grahanamu, Chandra Grahanamu. But today also we are thinking the eclipse happening, some reasons are there, Rahu, Ketu, like this, we are saying like this. But originally, in fact, he said true cause, how eclipses are happening. Because of scientific reason, he described true cause. So, and this is the greatness of Aryabhatta. So, 0, pi, decimal system, and mathematics. So, eclipse, true cause of eclipse. All these are explained by Aryabhatta. So, you see, and he wrote Aryabhattiyam. He wrote the great book Aryabhattiyam. So, he wrote Aryabhattiyam. And Surya Siddhantam. He wrote Surya Siddhantam also. Aryabhattiyam and Surya Siddhantam also. Okay, this is, we can say, Aryabhatta. How great a person, Aryabhatta. So this is the information in 1st century or 2nd century AD. But today world, they are inventing, they are finding these systems today. But before 200 years back, we got the solutions, we got the new systems, we found all these new systems. That is Aryabhatta. And next, one more person, Brahmagupta. So, Brahmagupta. He is also mathematician and astronomist. He is also mathematician and astronomist. You see, he introduced gravitation power of the earth. He found gravitation power of the earth. But so many people are saying that Newton found gravitation power of the earth. That is in 18th century. But before 17 years back, 1600 years back, Brahmagupta found gravitation power of the earth. But there is no popularity to Brahmagupta, that is our bad luck. But anyhow, he found the gravitational power of the earth. So this is Brahmagupta. He wrote Kanda Kadvaka. Kanda Kadvaka. He wrote the book Kanda Kadvaka. Kanda Kadvaka. This is Brahmagupta's book. And one more person we have, that is Vagbhatudu. Vagbhatudu. So Vagbhatudu, he wrote Sangraha Saramu. He wrote Sangraha Saramu. Vagbhatudu wrote Sangraha Saramu. This is a medical values book. Vagbhata, he wrote Sangraha Saramu, that is a medical values book. One more important person, Pulakappidu. Pulakappidu. So Pulakappidu, he wrote Astayurveda. Astayurveda. You know, you understand what was the greatness of Pulakappidu. He wrote Astayurveda. This is first veterinary book. This is first veterinary medicine book. Animal husbandry book. Astayurveda. So Pulakappidu wrote Astayurveda. And one more person, Navanitakudu. Navanitakudu. He wrote Navanitakam. He wrote Navanitakam. So Navanitakudu wrote Navanitakam. Navanitakam, you know, it is also one of the medical values book. Okay, so Pulakappidu, Navanitakudu, and Susrutudu. Susrutudu. He wrote Susruta Samhita. Susruta Samhita. He wrote Susruta Samhita. You know, this is he was first surgeon. He is called father of surgeries in India. Father of surgeries Susrutudu. Okay, he wrote Susruta Samhita. It is the book of surgeries. So this is, we can say, Susrutudu Susruta Samhita. And Vishnu Sharma. According to some of the historians, Vishnu Sharma also in the period of Chandragupta's second. He wrote Panchatantram. He wrote Panchatantram. You know Panchatantram? Panchatantram is a children book. Children's stories, moral stories book, Panchatantram. It is written by Vishnu Sharma. So all these are in the period of second Chandragupta. So those are Navaratnas, Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, Vagbhata, Pulakapya, Navanitaka, Susruta, and Vishnu Sharma. All these are in the period of second Chandragupta. So because of their hard work, because of their contribution, second Chandragupta got the name, and his reason, his period, his time is called golden era or golden age. You see, in the period of Chandragupta, the most important foreign pilgrim, Pahiyan. So Pahiyan, he visited his period. Pahiyan was the China pilgrim. You understand, we have 3 China pilgrims. They visited India. 3 China pilgrims. One is Pahiyan. Pahiyan visited India in the period of second Chandragupta. Yuan Sang, he visited in the period of Harshavardhana. Yuan Sang. And Itzing later Harshavardhana, so he visited. So that's why Pahiyan, Yuan Sang, and Itzing. So now our question is, who is the first China pilgrim visited India? That is Pahiyan. Whose period? In whose period he visited? That is Chandragupta II. So Pahiyan wrote to Fuoki. It is a book of Pahiyan, Fuoki. So Funukoki. So Fuoki, he written that book Pahiyan. So that Pahiyan book is explaining about the Gupta's information and Gupta's history. Pahiyan visited in the period of Chandragupta II. So this is the most important pilgrim he visited in the period of Chandragupta. He is the first China visitor or China pilgrim visited India, that is Pahiyan. So after Chandragupta we have, that is actually you see, Chandragupta, he has the daughter Prabhavati Gupta. Okay, Prabhavati Gupta laid Pune inscription. Prabhat Gupta laid Pune copper inscription. Prabhat Gupta married with Vakata's king. Okay, you know Vakatakas? Vakatakas, they married Prabhat Gupta. You know who was Vakataka? Vakatakas means, you see, they ruled east Maharashtra. That means northwest of Andhra Pradesh, that means Telangana, and Maharashtra. So, Vakatakas means, you know, that is Elephanta caves. Elephanta caves. So, Elephanta caves, you know, they are nearby Bombay in Arabian Sea, Elephanta caves. These Elephanta caves were constructed, built by Vakatakas. So, Pune inscription by Prabhat Gupta. Prabhat Gupta was wife of Vakatakas. Okay, so this is the information regarding Chandragupta II. After Chandragupta, we have one more king, Kumaragupta. His son Kumaragupta became the ruler. So he is from 4142 to 455. This is the ruling period of Kumaragupta. So this is the ruling period of Kumaragupta. So Kumaragupta is a successor of Chandragupta II. So Kumaragupta, he is also second king in the Guptas. Why? Because Samudragupta has done Ashwamedha sacrificing in Guptas. He was first ruler in Guptas. I have done Ashwamedha sacrificings. Samudragupta was first ruler. Done Ashwamedha sacrificing. And here second ruler Kumaragupta. So Kumaragupta also done Ashwamedha sacrificing. So he also titled Vyagra Parakrama. He has title Vyagra Mahaparakrama. Vyagra Mahaparakrama, he has the title. So you see, he was an important person. We should remember his name. So that is, he built Nalanda University. He built Nalanda University. Who built Nalanda University? Who started Nalanda University? That is Kumaragupta. Kumaragupta started Nalanda University. And one more thing you see, in the period of Kumaragupta, the Hunas attackings are started. White Hunas. So that is Mihiraka. So they are called White Hunas. So Hunas attacked on India in the period of Kumaragupta. So Kumaragupta, he was devotee of Kumaraswamy or Subramanya Swami. Okay. So he also issued the coins having the picture of Kumaragupta. And one more coins, he issued the coins having the picture peacock breedings. The picture peacock breedings are there. So that coins also issued by Kumaragupta, and Kumaraswamy, that is Subramanya Swami photo coins also issued by Kumaragupta. But anyhow, Hunas attacked in the period. He faced Hunas, he defeated Hunas, especially his son, Prince Skandagupta. He defeated Hunas. But anyhow, this is the information regarding Kumaragupta.